going to happen because it can't not happen. If I do my job correctly, that's what these people inherit. And then they say, Bo, you missed a domino right here. There's a big space of no dominoes. So we learn together how to make the play be what we all want it to be.
Oh, could you give us a quick synopsis of how you came to write this play and a little bit about what this play is about?
I came to write it because I was writing a Christmas story every year. I've been doing that for a long time. When my wife and I got married about 26 or however long ago it was, 28 years ago, I tried very hard to remember on the anniversary, but then it drifts out of my head. I hated that form letter that everybody sends out. Hi, we went to Yosemite, here's a picture. You know, that Christmas form letter, and if you write that letter, I don't hate you, I just hated the idea of me writing that letter. And I thought, I can't do that, but I can't just send Merry Christmas signed Bo. I'll write a Christmas story, that would be fun. And I started doing that, and I started sending it to friends, and the friends list grew, and then email and Facebook happened, and now a lot of people get it every year. In fact, some of them are on my Facebook page, and the rest of them are on my website. One friend of mine is a guy that is a very, very good writer, a very good playwright named Jim Leonard, and he sold his soul to the devil, and he now works in television, and makes a lot of money, and I hate it. He had just begun having real success in that world. He said, you know, he wrote me in January, thanks for this story. I think it would make a great movie. I said, well then make a movie, dude, and send me a check. You know, and he's like, no. We have to hammer out a treatment, and then I'll shop it around. So we started trying to hammer out a treatment. It was a story about a girl that gets magic glasses that let her see things from far away or whatever. I don't actually remember real well, but anyway, we couldn't solve it. We had a great first half, and it kept not happening. And then pilot season started in LA, and he had to say, I don't have time to do this anymore, because we were emailing back and forth and doing stuff. And it was kind of a master class for me in screenwriting, because screenwriting is very, very different from playwriting. It has a lot of the same ultimate goals, but the way you get there is very different. The tools are very different, and the need for structural strength is much greater. You don't have a lot of room to drift in a screenplay. So I was learning a lot, but we weren't getting to a finished point, and we had to part ways. Next Christmas, same thing. He calls me in January, thanks for this year's story. I still think there's something in that other one. I said, well, let's get to work. We tried again. We got a little further, but we still couldn't crack it. And I started laughing because it felt like a bit of a folly. It felt to me like it was just something we did because there was nothing else to do. And I imagined us as a couple of bachelor farmers in Minnesota, and the ground is so hard that you can't do anything except wait for spring. And what do? Well, let's build something nutty in the barn. And I thought, that is funny. What would they be building? What would be weird? What would be crazy? They're in the middle of Minnesota, a boat. A boat to sail the ocean. That would be weird. And the idea didn't leave me alone. And that's how I know I need to write something. I tend to think what if a lot. What if you were actually from the CIA? You know, what if all of you planned to kill the two of us when this meeting is over? That's how I spend my time, because I'm weird. If I know the answer to what if, there's no point writing it. Everybody knows the answer. Frank and Mildred know the minute they walk in, you know. So, and talking about things being familiar, you know, what if I went to see South Pacific? I would hear songs I've heard before, and I would have a good time. You know the answer to that one. I didn't know the answer to why are these guys building this thing, what's going to happen, what's their relationship, how are they going to get along. And very, very quickly it became clear to me that two men of the same age made no sense. It was not nearly as interesting as an older and a younger who collide and who have fundamental differences in how they view the world and what they think boats are for. I started writing it, and it was also my son is now 20. When I began writing this, he was 14. And it was time for me to write a father-son play, I think. And this is essentially a father-son play, even though it's not by blood fathering son. The relationship is very paternal. So, 6 years and however many drafts after I start, here I am in Grand Rapids. The play begins, we meet Ben, who is a retired state trooper. He has lost his wife to some fatal illness that I don't think I can, but she's gone. And he's at 6s and 7s. He's not a people person. He doesn't really do anything. He has retired from the force. And so he decides to build a boat and sail across the Atlantic, even though he's never even seen the ocean. And into his garage stumbles the next door neighbor's kid, who was just kicked out of film school. And the kid decides, you're making a boat, and you've never even sailed a boat, you've never even seen the ocean. I want to make a documentary about you. And the two of them begin to get to know one another, and they learn a lot from each other. Bruce said something that I was really gratified to hear last night. When you hear that synopsis, you think, okay, an old dog teaches young dog how to be a man. And that might be true, but young dog teaches old dog several things in this play too. And I'm very pleased that Bruce finds that to be the case, because I wanted it to be the case. I was hopeful that that's how it would go. So that's synopsis enough. I can't tell you everything or you won't come see it.